So, hello. So there's nothing to say about non-duality because there's already no me. We are we are talking a lot of in non-duality meetings about that finally it's about no me anymore, something like that. There's already no me. So there's nothing to get, there's nowhere to go. It's already that what is happening for no one. It's already like that. And that can be a belief or a feeling that I'm definitely here and I feel that I have a free will or I am the one who decides. That when that happens, when that feeling or the belief is there, then that belief is there. It doesn't matter. Life doesn't see you, so it doesn't matter what if there are beliefs or thoughts or anything. It's exactly that what is happening. It's not saying that to yourself because I hear some people around that saying like when there's something going on and saying after that, yeah, that's just what's happening, and that's making it into something else. It's like a comment. It's like a making it in something like it's okay or something like that. No, nothing is okay. It's what it is. So it can be really irritation or anger or sadness or very neutral, the table or the wall. So it has nothing to do with like comments like it is what it is or this is what's happening already, something like that. That can happen in this meeting because there's a talking about what's going on. But that's not the same as just normal life when everything is just what's happening. What not saying that to yourself. It's anger without noticing. It's that. And there's nothing special about Rose. So that seems to be like there's the one who's giving the meeting like this and having comments on what people say or of responses. What is happening? There's nothing. There's nothing here. And that suddenly when there's somebody saying something, there can be a response. It's everywhere like that. It's already like that. What we assume when we are there, then there's someone who has some knowledge or wisdom or something that is speaking from that. There's nothing, and speaking happens. It's the same as everywhere. So there's no difference between Rose and other people, you could say. It's only that face looks different in that way. So it's also not about how someone is looking, how someone is behaving, how someone can, like in the story, is doing something. It has nothing to do with that. This has nothing to do with the story. There can be a face looking in a certain way, there can be walking like this, there can be tension, there can be walls. It's everything. There's nothing is better than something else. That's the joy. It's everything. So there's no need to change, no need for anything else than what is happening because it's already complete as it is. And the thing, what's going on when there's someone, there seems to be suddenly there when there's an idea, there's someone, there's feeling like I'm outside. I'm looking at myself. There's a separate world. I'm here and there's the world or other people. And there can be a feeling of missing, of I'm not good enough, of something went wrong. And it can be very subtle or stronger, and it colors everything. So it's coloring anything, and it can jump on relation, trying to find a better place, trying to find somebody that can heal and can feel that we are complete again. And it jumps on having children, on the world, or on climate, because there's subtly or stronger a feeling or a belief. There's something missing. There's something not right here, and it's seeing the world in that color, you could say. When when that is not that strong anymore or completely lost, then everything is what it is. There's no better or worse. It's what it is. And it doesn't mean it's always nice or always happy. It's exactly that. Maybe a feeling, but it's not happening to someone. It never had. But when there's a feeling it's happening to me, then there's also a lot of times the idea I have to deal with it, and how can I deal with it? Because there's subtly or stronger that idea of feeling I want to feel good or comfortable or happy, or it has to be in a certain way. Life doesn't see us. Life doesn't see you. Life doesn't see me. Life is. It's energetic. It's an appearance of all kind of, yeah, how can you say? It's an appearance. So there can be walls, can be seen, bodies, streets, feelings, sensations, smell, sound. There's no relation between anything. It's what it is. It's everything is singular. So when there's me and I'm in the story and I'm living my life, it seems that everything is related and it's happening to me, and it's because we live in time and distance. It's because of this I'm feeling that, and a lot of ideas about why, and maybe because something happened in the past, because we think in time. And all that complication makes it into a certain story. And there's a lot of suffering can there be, because it's a never ending story. It always jumps on something that's not right yet, or there's something missing, or this is awful, and looking at somebody else and why she has that and all that, comparing with other people or with other circumstances. Because there's always a feeling this isn't, I'm not good enough, this is not good enough. There's a dissatisfaction. The dissatisfaction seems to be that it could be solved in the story, like trying to have more money or relationship or better circumstances. But it never is. It has nothing to do with the circumstances or what's going on. It's about the misunderstanding that there's someone and that everything is happening to you. There's already no one. And then when we go to that non-duality meeting, it seems like, oh, that's why I see everything like this. So it has to be that someone has to disappear. How can I get rid of that me or all that? And it's the same story, that there's something missing or something gone wrong because of something like the me. It's the same story again. There is already nothing missing. There never has been a separation. That's the misunderstanding. But you can't think yourself out of it, because that's the same story, like there's something wrong and I should act differently. You can't. But there's nothing wrong with what's going on. That's the dilemma. It's like, oh, it's this. But looking at yourself and thinking like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with what's going on, is just a new concept. So this is in that way an awful, no, message is not really a message, but like there's nothing to do. There's nothing in your hand. You can't grasp this. There can be maybe an understanding, but there's nothing. It's someone who has an understanding, and the story is still the same. That can be more comfortable, maybe for a while or for longer. But it's not about in the story. This has nothing to do with the story. This is another possibility which is completely out of the story. There is no story. Me is the story. Without without that construct, like there's there can be the story going on, but everything is empty. There's nothing serious at all about that what's happening. It doesn't go anywhere. It's nothing happening as streets or money or feelings. It's singular. It doesn't go anywhere. It is. And it's neutral. There's nothing better than something else. It's what it is. A feeling, not for anyone. So it doesn't mean there's something not good at me or all that. That's the misunderstanding. It's already complete. exactly how that is, how that phase is, how the behaving can be. There's nothing right or wrong with anything. That's amazing. That's a joy because that's nothing being busy with what's going on. It's exactly that what it is. It's the loss of the idea or the belief that there's something wrong, but that belief can be so embodied so you can't think yourself out of it or do something about it. It doesn't matter. But that when it doesn't matter, but it's easy to say because when you're in the story and there's feels like there's really something going on, it doesn't feel like there's nothing matters. So saying that to yourself is again, it's already a concept. So there's nothing to grasp, nothing to get here. So that can be frustrating because there's nowhere to go and it doesn't feel like it's okay. And then somebody saying, yeah, but it's complete. So there can be a frustration or a misunderstanding or like, hi, I can't grasp this or all that. There's no need for anything. It's already that what is happening. And there can be a lot of thoughts. There can be tension. This is not talking about no tension anymore or no anger anymore. It's everything. It's life like little children. It's like life full on in everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's not life for Rose or for somebody else. There is no Rose. There is no individual. Everything is singular. So there's hand and glass of water and feeling and wall. It's that. Without noticing, not focusing on everything so you see it in that way. No, exactly how it's already going, that's it. So we can talk about that. And maybe there are questions. There can be questions in the story. There is no question that's silly or non-dualistic questions. No, there can be any question. Maybe there's something about relations or anything. We can just talk about that and see what's happening. So if you want to say something, you can unmute yourself or maybe you can write something in the chat or maybe there's silence.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
This morning there was something like, shall I go out for shopping or shall I wait for this meeting? It's just waiting.
This meeting, of course.
Yeah, but it's just
No.
waiting for nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah.
What shopping is also nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't. There's no difference in of going shopping or being in this meeting. It's different, but in importance, is nothing is more. This meeting is not more important than shopping.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's strange. Yeah.
Wow.
Normally, we think that some things are like this meeting or maybe something else. It's more important than just shopping or sitting in the garden, watching television, all that. No, that's life. Life is everything. So it's watching television like that or walking. It's that already. It's it that walking is it. So there's nowhere to go. You can't miss it. So it doesn't matter where it is or what it is. It's life already.
Yeah.
And there's no choice. So then maybe they're sitting here or doing something else. Is that what's going on? There's not someone inside that making decisions. It's energy going in a certain way, and then suddenly sitting. Yeah, then that's what's happening, apparently. Yeah,
Drinking tea.
drinking tea. Yeah.
There's no agenda.
No, this meeting doesn't go anywhere. I don't know. But it doesn't need to go because that what is happening, this sound, even that what is said, being said, has no meaning. So that sound or that energy or sitting, the wall, it's that already.
Yeah.
Hmm. It doesn't matter what's
It's
being said.
no,
Also,
it's that yes, that's true. Yeah,
that's
but I'm still touched in a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But this is amazing. We are so busy always, but there's something not right, or I'm not good enough, or there's something not satisfying or missing, or that's so the normal way everywhere seems to be. And then suddenly hearing, so there's trying to change, there's trying to, oh, this is not good, or somebody else saying, yeah, you're not good enough, or all that is all, it's all the time is going on in a certain way. And then suddenly it's like, no, it can't be. That's that's stunning that this is already unconditional love. There's looking for that unconditional love in a certain way or in a certain circumstances or a relation and it's already there's no need to change anything. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. I think a great part of this apparent society is on development and
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Every most that's how you how the world is like that. There is no world, but how then all the news, everything is about that.
yeah,
And it seems like good to develop, and there's a nice words about more natural and all that. But it's always saying there's something not right yet.
yeah, yes.
And then hearing in the end, and there's somewhere there can be a, a recognition about that feeling. Yeah, somewhere there's a no, not a really a knowing, but then it can't be that. There's something. It could. There's something else, and then hearing that, and there's that feeling like, yeah, that's somewhere what I felt. That can be so touching and stunning. Like, oh yeah, of course. And then it's during the day, maybe there's because it's so can be so strong that feeling I have to do this or maybe that it's so embodied. But then those moments and suddenly like, oh God, this is it already. That's that's light. Yeah. And still there can be irritation. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's like a mosquito that's going down.
A mosquito.
Yeah, it was just in front of the window.
What is this?
Yeah, there was a mosquito in front of the window which was going down.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
but
that simple,
yeah, it
neutral. Yeah.
yeah, it's everything. It's amazing.
But it's neutral. Well, it's not. There can be sometimes I see there's a misunderstanding about neutral, like that everything is okay in that way. It's not okay or something like that. There can be like, ah, God, what is that? Something I don't know. So it's that. It's just happening. There's no one doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's even so. I had a homeopathic doctor,
Mm,
and then she said, "Yeah, Anita, you can read this book and blah blah blah,"
mm,
but it's not working.
mm.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I know from here then that can be with the doctor say, yeah, that's a good idea, and then completely forget afterwards, not not going anywhere, anything doing that. Yeah, it can be anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Either maybe reading the book or not reading, or so what. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything, but it can be
Yeah. Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm. There can be that constant idea somewhere that people don't like me. I should behave maybe in a different way. That always that so can be so embodied that idea, belief, that feeling, and then suddenly it's coming here in those meetings, and then feeling like, oh, that somewhere there's nothing wrong with that. It's not their idea, but that there's nothing going on like you should be this, you should be that. There's no way out, no way in. There's nowhere to go. So that whole idea about doing or changing and all that is just not confirmed. So that whole structure needs confirming and need being busy all the time. And when there's no confirming and being busy with that, it just scrambles. It just falls a bit apart. And then suddenly it's like, oh, there can be a relief. There can be also emotions or maybe tiredness. Some people fall asleep. Yeah, can be anything. But it's so relaxing in that way. Or maybe there's a tension, can be like a fear. And it can be going through these meetings and expecting in a certain way. Or maybe there's a feeling I don't expect anything, but there's nothing given, or this is not going anywhere. Or maybe there's silence and not giving answers in that way. And so that's sitting, and then there's not so much happening, or there's not so much insights in that way. There's no need for insights. There's no need for an explanation or an understanding. Well, that's so new in a way, because that's normally what's going on, having insights or more relaxation or more this or more less this. It's not being interested in the story. It doesn't matter if there's more relaxation or less anger or whatever. It's not about that. There's no comparing with something before, because there was no before. There was no there's no person who has a life and there's something going on in that life. There's no one. So there's that what is happening is singular. So a feeling can be there. It has nothing to do with you. It's somewhere in space. There can be that feeling. And we're so sure that when there's a feeling, for example, that it's mine or it's somewhere in the body, and maybe there's affecting something, and no, there's that feeling and that's it. And it's already something else, the wall, or I don't know. It's not about you or me. There is no you or me or we. There is no individual. There can be a body. Seeing a body, it's not always there. This is crazy because we're so sure that the body is always there and I'm here in a certain way, or this body is here but maybe without a me or something like that. No, nothing is permanent. It's what it is, apparently. And that's that's it. And it's already something else. So you can't even say how this is. And also saying that when there's something happening in your life, like say like that, and then it feels like there's something going wrong, or I can't with a relation or with money, or I don't know, all that issues. There can be. And then saying, yeah, but it's just a story. No, that makes it in a way wrong. It's not just a story. It's that what's going on. And there may be frustration or tension about that. And there can be questions about that. So we can see what happens. But It's not strange that there's issues in the story. Somebody's chat. Sometimes when a girlfriend is sharing a story, it sticks on the body. Then I prefer to feel good. Yeah, that so can be so strong, that preference to feel good. That's normally when there's someone, then that's part of that story. It's just part of me is wanting to feel good and move away from pain, and how to do that, because there's somewhere a feeling like this is not good enough. I have to search for something that's missing or want to feel good, and that can be so strong. It's it's energetic, and it's about the misunderstanding that there's something gone wrong, that you're not good enough. No, it can't be like that. There's no you. So then there's only that what is happening. There's no one. It's not, the body is not someone or from someone. No, it's body. It's neutral. It's not always there. And there can be a feeling when there's somebody sharing something, and there's a feeling, and we think it's because of that. Nothing is because of anything. But there can be that a feeling, a tension maybe, or oh, then there's tension, yeah? And then there's the floor, and so tension is what is happening. It's neutral. There's nothing yours. It's a sensation. And even saying, I prefer to feel good, there can be those thoughts. But what is happening is already going. So you can prefer something, but life is the boss. there's there's no one to prefer. So there can be those thoughts and ideas, but that what's happening is it.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Rose.
Hi.
I can see something is knocking on the door, and I can see also I'm holding back because I want to present it
Mm.
somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be a
Yeah.
bit, uh,
Mm.
but somehow you're touching about that kind of yeah, this thing when something kind of not good is happening, then it's almost like using this. Message or until like how do you say it, apply non-duality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
uh, and I have a story around driving too fast, and you see that, oops, I drove too fast, and there was a photo box and you've been taking pictures of, and it was like, oh shit, it's like I drove too fast. Soon the police will connect with me and I will have to pay a fine, no?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of it destroyed. In that moment, you kind of you don't feel good, no, because you know that I did something wrong,
Ah.
and
Yeah.
and in some time I will need to pay, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it happened, no, but it's kind of in that process the mind kind of tries to comfort itself, no, or it's like automatic. uh, it's like, oh, I have to, oh, it's just like you says, or it's not automatically, it's like, oh, it just happened, or
Oh yeah. Most of the time with things are not which are not so nice.
yeah, it was like that, no, it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I shouldn't, like, but I couldn't do otherwise because it was not me even doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
this uh,
Yeah.
kind of applied non-duality lines.
Yeah.
And
But it
of
can
course,
be that feeling. Then suddenly, when there's such suddenly like, oh my God, I drove to hot, and then that shock, like, oh God, of course, that can happen. And then on top of that, it's more like, oh, you did something not right. And then the story starts. Yeah. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the cause and effect. And yeah, some weeks after I got some fine,
Yeah.
it was not like, it was not like a, how do you say it, a separate thing that didn't cause anything. In my story, somehow it caused uh, me to pay, well, 300 euros. And then it's like, yeah, and then I couldn't say, oh, it's fine. No, it wasn't fine.
No, no. Well, when there's the story makes it in a way it like it's wrong, and I did something, and I get punished, and then I have all that. There's still there still can be the story, and getting the ticket and have the fine, and then feeling like, oh God, shit, and then something else is happening, like a glass of water, and that it's yeah. It's that in that moment you could say like, oh my God, and then it's gone. It's already that, and then there's something else going on. Yeah. Well, we stay in the story, and I should have this, or maybe I don't know, but it doesn't mean that you don't that the brain is not thinking anymore because of that, because I did drove too hard, I have that fine. That can still happen, but it's empty. So then it's like that, oh shit, yeah, that was about that, and oh, I have to pay, and that's it. That there's that feeling can be there, like irritation or whatever that feeling is, and then it's gone, and then there's something else going on. It doesn't stick. It's about that. The feeling's still there, and there can be still thinking in the story that the brain still works, but it's not real or something like that. There's still knowing in a way, like, oh, that ticket is because of that, of course, but so what? It's empty. Yeah.
Yeah, and listening or resonating with what you're saying, I totally resonate with it somehow.
Mm.
But well, somehow when it happens, it's I don't know how to put it, but this automatic, like it's almost like my system is bound to kind of put the bandage on it somehow.
Yeah, it's holding it together. That energy can
Somehow,
be
yeah,
there.
holding it
Yeah.
to the
Yeah, yeah,
spot,
yeah, yeah.
or diminishing the pain or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the anything. You know, it's like it comes automatic. You know, it's like oop, yeah,
It's not your system doing that. It's
okay,
energetic. So that it's it's new. It's not like, oh, it's like because of the past and all that. It's new. So it's that, and it it's it's always I can't how can you say that? It's new, so it can be like that and suddenly not, and maybe that, and for a while you don't even think about anything, and then suddenly it's there. It's random. There's no continuation in that too. There's no one existing. The body is also, or the system, or how you call it. It's not always there. It's like energetic. So it's what we look at it, and that's normally, and we assume it's always there, and it's because of the whole story with that. That's more like there's a continuation. What what's happening? There's no continuation in that already. So trying to make it in, like in, on top of that, trying to make every time to make it into a story, to like my story, and that's, it's a lot of extra energy making into, oh, I shouldn't do that, oh no, this is just what's happening, oh no, no. and and it's only that maybe it's not that strong anymore or doesn't happen, but that all that what's going on, that's just what's happening, apparently, for no one. Well, so that won't change in that way, you could say. Still, driving too fast will happen. Can happen. I don't know. Yeah. It's not like a better life. Yeah.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mm.
There is no control.
No, there's already. So it's my that yeah. That can be saying that or understanding that, but in some situations there's that embodied feeling, and then it's not about thinking about that, but that's so embodied, that feeling that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So knowing is just very superficial. There can be a knowing somewhere and an understanding about, there's no control and there's really no one. But being in a certain situation, then suddenly, and that energy of I am here is still there. Then that's going on. That, of course, knowing is no help of some. It's just knowing. For sometimes, for some. So what? It doesn't change anything.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So what?
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter
that can
at
be.
all.
That can be nice. Well, yeah, it doesn't change. It's just knowing. Not always there too, of course. Yeah. Or understanding.
I was driving too fast when I went home from the meeting for my Lexus, and I was really surprised.
Hmm. Can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like really that was happening by itself. It was really whoa.
Hmm.
Hi again.
Yeah,
A little back to the story. It's
yeah,
more like the cause and effect. No, it's more
yeah.
like, again, just an
Hmm.
example, but it's more like driving too fast. I was pictured by this photo box
Yeah,
that then, of course, it takes some time in the story also. Or it's like, and then I was kind of, oh, it was like 2 3 weeks ago, and it's like, and then in that period, a kind of in my story now, it's like I was uh, irritated, and I was like continuously kind of how do you say it? Because something had been done wrong in the, yeah. and
yeah,
and you felt the cause and effect about it, yeah. And then first you get a mail, and then uh, you get it, you have to say yes or no if you were there, and then all these steps now somehow. And it was almost like, I hear what has been said here. There is no cause and effect, but it's like part of me knew the process somehow in the
yeah.
story. uh,
It seems so real of that when you see that.
For
You can
me,
feel
yeah,
like that.
because
Yeah,
step one, you're
yeah,
driving fast. Step two, you've been taking pictures of. Step three, you get to notice. Step four, you kind of approve. Okay, it's me. Step five, you pay.
yeah.
And
But this
yeah,
is not a new. Yeah, I understand what you say, of course. Well, what the funny thing is, when there's that driving fast, it's that. Then then how can you say that? There's getting that that letter. It's completely new. There's nothing before. There can be a memory, and that memory is in that moment. So then that's what's happening. But because we think like the memory and we think in time, the memory is real and that really happened. So there's a construct like, oh, there was something happening before, and that confirms that idea or belief that there's time. But there was nothing before. There is that letter, and that's it. And then that's completely lost, and then there's nothing going on, and then suddenly there's paying that thing, and then there can be that memory again, or maybe a part, or only irritation, and right, and then that's it, and there's no before. So that what normally, because we are so involved in time and in distance and all that, that the memory is just confirming really that belief that there is time and cause and effect, and there's something going wrong and I have to make it right and all that. So that's when that belief is there, the story will that confirm that. But the only thing what's happening is that letter, and that can be a memory, and that's it. There's no before. It's strange
yeah,
because we're
being
so
so
used to that. Yeah.
Exactly. I was about to say it. Being so used to cause and effect, and or the story or the line of events somehow
Yeah.
you do, or apparently you do not do also, and then kind of
Mm.
subtly sometimes, I don't know if intuition comes here in that, kind of there is a knowing or a sense of what might come or not come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. No,
And
it's the same story.
okay.
It's also the story in time. What's I can only say, like, when there's that whole when that confirming, like, that belief that there's um, time and before and consequences and all that, it's not arising anymore. The strange thing is, what I can say is that the memory is also not that strong anymore. So then after 10 minutes, it's already like, what did I can't even, it doesn't, I can't try to remember, and I can't even remember or get that picture again. So that's, so then it's very obvious, like, oh, there's nothing before, but we assume because we are so living in time that that before was real, but it isn't. It's just this, and it's just nothing before. Well, that's we're so into that belief, and that's so embodied and confirmed that it's very real and normal. And hearing that there's no time, there's only this, and that's new. It's just new. There's nothing is happening before. It's like, huh? How you can't even understand maybe. And somewhere there's something going on. But it's not in the understanding, but something else. And then it's like it's just this. This is you. This is everything. There's no outside. There's no inside. There's no before. There's no after. Oh my God, it's just this. There can be memory or something like that, but that's this too. It's full on this. Yeah.
You,
Yeah. We think sometimes we talk about, oh, I forgot, but it's not forgetting. It's just not there. I thought that too. That it's something like I forget that, and I did that. Oh, and I completely forgot. It just wasn't there. Yeah, of course. Hmm. The strange thing also is when there's I am here and everything is going on. Everything seems real and solid. So my life is there. There are circumstances. This is really happening. Money seems really something, and I have to do something with that, or I have to pay, and all that. Nothing is real. It's only an appearance. Everything is empty. So that's when there's pain. There's nothing happening. It's not like, oh my God, and I have now met less money and all that. That can be the story. I don't know, but there's nothing happening. It's that, and it's an appearance of that. So there's nothing happening. So there's no before. It's that, and it's already an appearance of table. Ah, and there's table. It's that. Nothing is real. It's an appearance. That's also the freedom. Doesn't mean an appearance that it's not full. It's empty, but it's full together. It's full. There can be irritation or a flame or anything. Yeah, it's full on.
looks like I hear more birds singing.
Can be full on, but in anything, but then in everything now can be. The sensations can be stronger. Everything is, yeah, can be. But there can be also that comparing with before, that's what me does all the time. Like, oh, now it's going much better because I'm have not so much tension anymore, like that. It's still that same story about development and trying to feel better about yourself. When there's no one, there's not even noticing. There can be birds singing, but that's birds singing. That has nothing to do with, oh, that's more alive now. No, it's birds singing. Oh, like that. So it's very clever, that system, that survivaling and being there. Yeah, birds singing. Or that's, yeah. Or walking, or there's no aware when everything is lost. There's also no awareness, not noticing what's going on. That's what is. Thank you, Rose. I don't know why, but this morning it makes me cry. Yeah, can. Sure. Mm. Mm. No one is doing anything. We are so into like doing, and this is what I have to do, and this morning I did this and that, did that, and what happened to me is there's no one doing anything. It's what is happening, not to anyone, not for anyone. No, it's not doing. There's no doing. There is what is happening. That's it. There's no one. Nothing is happening. It's a a table, wall, a sensation, sitting, an appearance of all that. So nothing is happening. No one is doing anything. There is no doing. Only in the story there can be a lot of stories about what I do and what I did and what I achieved and my results and all that. Nothing is mine. There is no one. It's what's apparently is happening by itself. We think we do it. No, there's no one already. Already. It's what's happening. It's life. Tabling, sitting. It's very simple and ordinary. There's nothing special about anything. It's sitting. It's a lamp. It's singing. It's sound. It's a sensation. Singular. It's complete in that way. It's complete already. Have a beautiful day. Yeah, that will happen, I think, with the sun. Bye. Mm. Mm. So, mm.
Rose,
Yeah.
hi. I'm just wondering about suffering, pain in the body. There's nothing you can do if it's
No, it's
I
not even
mean,
in the body. The pain is not in the body. That we assume that's the normal way. The pain happens, and it's not about something you cannot do. There is no one, so it's not about being able. There's no choice. But what we normally do with pain, it's a focus on that pain, or grasp it, taking it, and then thinking, how can I deal with this? What can I do? And how to can get it less, or get rid of it, or things like that. And that's what we normally do. And there's no one. So there can be pain, and then there's walling and pain and something else. It's not yours.
yes, but focusing or not focusing is not in our
No.
power. So if we
When
focus
there's
on it,
yeah,
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 okay.
yeah, yeah. But
So
hearing,
resisting or not resisting or
hmm
taking it seriously or not taking no, it's not in our or
no,
in someone's power. So
no.
it's just what happens.
Yeah, but when there can be, and thinking, like, when there's that pain, and then it's just what's happening. I can't do anything. It's just, well, it's also like new, or another possibility to hear there's no one. Because it doesn't mean that there's an understanding or a grasping or anything. Well, it's something else to say you cannot do anything. I'm not saying that. There's no one. It's completely different. There's no choice, and when there's focusing, there's focusing. When there's no one, there's nothing going on about this is right or this is wrong. I should do this. I should do that. Then that what's happening is it. There can be a focusing, really, and not. Then that's what is happening. Not saying that to yourself, but full on in that. And so everything is going. There's nothing right or wrong with that. That's what meaning no one. There's no one. And that
No.
what normally is going on is there's trying to make things better or change, because that doesn't feel good. And this is completely something else. And like, there's no one. There's only what is happening. Not saying that to yourself, because that's another concept. And that's life full on, in that way, in any way. It doesn't matter what it is. That's unconditional love. But we have an idea about love, that it feels good in a way. Unconditional love is there no conditioning, is that feeling full on pain or anything, without anything wrong or awful. It's that sensation full on. And when there's a looking at it and feeling like it's wrong, then that's full on. Well, there's a talking about that. There's no one. And it's not that it can change anything, but it's another possibility. Not for you. That's the strange thing. But somewhere it's not focusing this meeting or about what to do or not to do, or how we can, or there's no direction in this. And in a way there's something energetically happening when there's no direction, and when no advice, or no this is right or wrong. It's not. Then suddenly there's something else going on, because that whole idea and construct trying to deal with things is not confirmed. And then suddenly there can be something else. But it's not in the mind, it's not understood. This is a complete different way of, not even a way. This is another possibility. This is not talking in the story. This is not giving directions or no directions, or saying this is what's happening or anything. It's the loss of all ideas and beliefs that there's something wrong, and it should be changed, and I have the possibility to change. There's no one and there's nothing wrong with anything. It's life full on in any way. Thoughts can be there, tension, the table. It's not about me, it's not about you. It's that what's happening is life full on. That's unconditional love. There are no conditions. It's everything. That's the freedom. Everything is already unconditional love. Unconditional, no condition, nothing better than something else. It's no conditions. That's the freedom. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.